quite high and it's a bit early. There might be like a slight chance that I get the transcoding option, so if the stream does go down, it's most likely because of that. Or I'm hoping it's because of that and not my internet. So just to warn you. But the second game just starting very quickly. We do have the Lord General played by Toilailee once again. We do also have the Force Commander being played by Noisy once again, both sticking with their heroes from the previous game, and I need to switch it to this overlay instead, otherwise I'm blocking the VPs. I should have probably also saved the replay, but this is kind of evidence enough anyway on the stream. But scouts are going to move in very aggressively with these. Scouts going to sit behind some cover, have a poke at these guardsmen, capping the power. Very annoying. Scouts don't do too much damage, but they will actually pick off 2 models, and some guardsmen are going to force melee onto these scouts. Don't normally see that. The guardsmen are doing very well in this fight. 2 guardsmen squads versus a single scout, 1 in melee, 1 in range. Here comes the Force Commander though to back up this fight, and these guardsmen will have to stop forcing melee, otherwise the commander coming in will be too much. Now let's see if Toilailee is going to go for the same build again that he went in that previous game. He did go for the double sentinel instead of the triple set guardsman with single sentinel. Force Commander is getting kited around a bit here by the guardsman and sentinel. Does actually pick off a model there with his bolt pistol. He's going all the way to base. He really wants to get another model by the looks of it. The stump comes in though, and Force Commander will retreat out of there. Meanwhile, off to the left hand side, the Lord General and some tanks will be meeting each other. The Lord General is going to go into this building by the looks of things. Do have the second scout squad as well for Noisy, although the second scouts are actually over here. This is the initial scout squad. Sentinel will get the decap onto that VP. The Lord General is going to sit inside that building and be very annoying for these tacks, and could see a very fast flamer for these tacks, but I feel like Noisy is going to get out a Devastator squad before these flamers. Double Sentinel now coming back in for Toilailee. Works well for him in the first game. Let's see what kind of pressure he can put on in this game. Stomp does go down onto these tacks, but the tacks will get back up again and back in the fight. The other Sentinel across the map is going to come in here and do some damage to these scouts. This Sentinel does not have the stomp upgrade, unlike the other one. We could see that come in later though. In the previous game, both Sentinels did get stomped, so I would have thought that this one would get it as well. So Noisy's actually put down some generators this time. He hasn't been as pressured as he was in the previous game, I think. And here comes a stump. Tosses that Force Commander away. Yep, as Cyrus points out, there is still no generators for Toilailee. The battle cry is active, so the commander will not be knocked back, but he will be stunned. Shotgun scouts coming out now. Shotgun scouts do a lot of damage, and are very good actually for chasing down a sentinel, I suppose. We could see a sergeant come in on the other one. In the previous monthly Rumble tournament, we did see that Noisy would go for one scout squad with shotguns and one with a sergeant for the shotgun blast grenade combination. Toilailee cancelling his heavy weapons team in favour of some spotters. Noisy is getting some devastators now. Lord General will pop into this building. Wait, these sentinels do need to get repaired. They are getting a little bit low, but the guardsmen are now coming in for the repairs. This one on the right getting dangerously low actually. Ooh. Do have the fire stump coming in, forces the Force Commander away. And we do have some attacks here. They do have all 3 models, these scouts also with all 3 models. Spot Shell does come in to prevent the decap onto that VP. Toilailee will go and recapture the right hand side VP as well. Attack's going to sit behind some heavy cover or some green cover and try and fight these sentinels. Sentinels will get repaired by these guardsmen. Spotter Shell comes down to reduce the range of these attacks, and these Devastators are set up here. Could see some Vengeance rounds on these devs. Vengeance rounds are very nice actually against Sentinels, especially if you get up close. But we will see what happens in this game. Noisy looks like he's handling the pressure a lot better in comparison to the previous game. Toilailee has not been able to put down turrets on his generators or anything like that. So these double Sentinels are going to push forward. And we do have that Sergeant on this second scout squad, like we saw in the monthly Rumble tournament. In fact, these scouts are actually going to sneak in. Sentinels can detect, but their range is quite short. They don't have enough energy for a shotgun blast, but they will keep an infiltration, and they do take reduced damage while partially infiltrated. Grenade does go down, is easily dodged by Toilailee. And Toilailee is now making a big push over towards these generators. First stomp goes down onto these tacks, very nice. These Devastators are taking a lot of damage, will be met by a Spotter Shell. Do get out in time though. And let's see if Toilailee is going to put down a turret like he did in these previous games onto these generator farms. Here's the turret, covering quite a lot. Here come the scouts, both with the elite training for the infiltration. Does give them also some energy regen and health regen when out of combat. This is a very big push down this corridor by Noisy. Sentinel Stomp does miss. Scouts are pushing forward onto these spotters, forcing melee onto them. In fact, one scout squad forced off, the other scout squad does get stomped. These shotgun scouts will be forced to retreat, and Toilailee will just back out of this fight by the looks of things. Force Command still going in with the Iron Halo and the Artificer armor. Drop pod does come in. This will most likely have some tax in it. Actually does knock back the Force Commander himself, and some tax do pop out of this drop pod. Noisy is out for some blood right now. It does take down a Stormtrooper model from the Lord General. Lord General actually does have the Sergeant with him, which allows him to give medikits to his friendly units such as Guardsmen or Spotters, for instance. Force Commander still chasing all the way into base, tries to dodge a stomp but does still get stunned. Iron Halo does run out of energy, and he is going to keep going in fact. And while this is going on, we do have some flame attacks coming in from behind. The Sentinel does come in, Stomp is on cooldown for the other Sentinel, but this one does have a Stomp ready. These flame attacks will be forced off. The Iron Halo does get turned back on again for the Force Commander. These other attacks did try to decap that natural, but will be met with a Spotter Shell. As you can see in the top left of the map, they will get a decap actually. That is a fully matured requisition point. Force Commander does get forced off, and I don't think that Toilailee has enough range fire to actually kill him. Tier 2 now for Toilailee. But most of the map right now is looking quite red. That was a very big push from Noisy. He is taking back a fair amount of map control. Even have Devastators on capping duties as well. They will decap this power and then they will retreat. Did have a scout grenade onto the Lord General. The Lord General, he can take it. He's pretty tanky. So Devastators will be in retreat. The Lord General is going to chase down some scouts. This is a very nice turnaround from Noisy after the double Sentinel pressure. Chimera now coming out for Toilailee, but Noisy is still taking up to tier 2. Some shotgun scouts are here. Doesn't look like Toilailee did see them, or they weren't detected anyway. They will just chill there. Force Commander coming back in with the Iron Halo, the Artificer armor. The health regen and extra energy this Artificer armor gives makes the Force Commander a very annoying force to deal with. And he will go after these Guardsmen, while Sentinels for Toilailee are off into the bottom right corner of the map to decap the requisition points. Chimera does pop out of the base now. Noisy will see that, and the Chimera will run over this wall so it can now focus down these scouts. Do have a rear armor hit from somewhere, but even more gen bashing coming in now. Only one attack with flamers still. This other one might get upgraded to stern guards later. Did see some stomps go down. Lord General is going to tie up these flame attacks now to stop them from burning down the gens. Creeping barrage does come in. Lord General global ability does actually do some damage in retreat there to these attacks, but they will get out with all three models. Force Commander is getting forced off as well, and the Chimera is pushing forward. This is going to be a big push now for Toilailee himself, while Guardsman squad are around the map going and capping. In fact, actually it's a spell squad that's around the map, so let's see what he can do here. Looks like all the vehicles are actually getting path blocked on each other. Just for the Chimera to drive forward, the Sentinels need to back out, and that can be very frustrating. Last Cannon Devastators with For the Emperor getting used here. For the Emperor does boost damage. Ooh! Actually just wipes it. Rear armor showing. That is a big loss now for Toilailee. Razorback is also out for Noisy. We do have the Commissar upgrade on the Lord General, giving that shield, which does reduce the damage taken for units around him, but that's only working on him right now, since he's the only thing surrounding it, or only thing surrounded by it. Razorback now out for Noisy. This is going to be quite difficult to deal with no heavy weapons team. But there is double Sentinel, and we could see the missile launcher upgrade come in now. This one Sentinel actually getting very low, is getting tied up by the Force Commander and Razorback. The heal is quite high, but the Force Commander looks like he will take it down with the Thunder Hammer. Actually, he's focusing down the Guardsman, but the Thunder Hammer now onto the Force Commander will be very annoying for Guardsmen to deal with that AoE ability. Do have some Scouts and Guardsmen fighting over here onto the right. Sentinel down, Chimera down. This is quite expensive losses now for Toilailee. And we do have some Scouts actually coming in for a bit of a bash, but their damage isn't high enough to particularly be worried about. These spots is a little bit out of position. Model does get picked off by the Razorback. Do have some flame attacks off to the left. Here's the transcoding options that I was talking about. I don't have Twitch open on my Steam browser, so I can't really give a message, but for those who are rejoining, there's now transcoding options because we have that many people that are interested in Noisy versus Toilailee. Ogreen's now coming out for Toilailee. Ogreen's will be a nice choice, but with the Force Commander and the Thunder Hammer, it's the knockback needs to be he needs to be careful of the knockback. But one generator left for Toilailee. We do have the Sentinel with the missile launch upgrade actually fighting the Razorback. It will go down though. The Razorback is not showing the rear armor hit. One more shot will not be enough. It does go down before it even gets that shot off. So transcoding is when people can view it in multiple qualities, low, medium, high or source, and it comes in for people who have enough viewers that they're in the top 1200 streamers. Anyway, Ogreens do lose a model. They still have their Bonehead though, and there'll be a retreat from Noisy. Still, the majority of the map belonging to Noisy. You look at the mini-map, it is red right now. Do have these Last Cannon Devastators still going around. They will most likely be on capping duties right now. Now that both Sentinels are dead and the Chimera is dead, there is no vehicle on the map for Toilailee, so they will most likely sit around the map and cap. Do have a bit of an aggressive push here. For the Emperor does get used on these plasma attacks. They do have a Sergeant as well. These plasma attacks will shred through Ogreens since they are super heavy infantry. The model does get picked down. The Bonehead is still active though. And they're very low. Could see these attacks force melee. They will not force melee. We do have these Guardsmen who will need to get out of there. Guardsmen and Spotters are moving up to the top now. They won't have anything to deal with that Razorback though. Lord General still with no upgrades other than the Vox Operator by the looks of things. Looks like the Vox Operator. These guardsmen though are taking a lot of damage. They did use their commissars actually to break retreat, but they will get forced away by this Razorback. The Razorback actually does quite a lot of damage. The turret comes in with a single shot to take down the Razorback. I was not expecting that much damage to be dealt. But these attacks are going to force melee on the turret. The turret cannot fire on units in melee. The Force Commander will be the next target though, since he is not currently meleeing. A spot shell is going to go down to knock everyone away. Look at that, perfect shell. Attacks will come back in now to force melee once again onto this turret. There is no guardsman to support this turret. We do have the Lord General's Vox Operator coming in to instantly reinforce all the squads. Nice use of the ability to save on the reinforcement costs. I believe it's a fixed fee to reinforce all the units that need reinforcing. Bonehead is the first model to go down here for the Ogreens. We do have another creeping barrage coming in now. We'll catch out scouts and catch out a single attack squad as well. That'll be a retreat from them. Force Commander is going to come in, very nice special there. Let's see if he can get another one. Doesn't look like he does. We'll focus down Lord General. And these guardsmen do get knocked back again. That model is ruined. These plasma guardsmen not doing enough damage. Force Commander will be able to come into their face and get some hits off before they get away properly. Force Commander will need to get out of here though. The Ogreens are here. They don't have their Bonehead by the looks of it, so there is no charge ability. In fact, Force Commander might go down. He's taking a lot of damage. These Ripper guns from Ogreens do a fair amount of DPS, and the Force Commander will go down. We do have some scouts throwing a grenade. These spotters will see that and back out of there in time. We do have off to the right hand side these last cannon Devastator squads bashing some generators. Now that they've capped the entire right hand side of the map, all they need to do is bash some generators. Ogreens do take a shotgun blast to the face. Force Commander is repurchased and coming back in here. We do have another use of the Vox Operator here to reinforce these squads. But the Force Commander coming in with a load of specials. These Ogreens taking a lot of damage from these plasma attacks. For the Emperor is going to get used on them. The Bonehead comes in for the charge ability. We Shall Know No Fear is being used on attacks. Attacks do have a 50% chance to knock back a unit that they are meleeing. And I think I am correct in saying that it's 50% chance. But the Ogreens will get forced off because they are taking way too much damage. The Force Commander is actually just going to chase down these guardsmen. These guardsmen don't have their plasma guns unlike the other squad on the map. He's just going to charge in now. Look at that special. And again. Okay, not again. These Devastators are actually going to get ignored. Force Commander is just going to walk up into base right now. Level 7 Force Commander. Phew. He did in fact reinforce the Ogreens twice. He did it once before the fight took place, and then he done it once again as the fight took place. Or I saw